What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video here today. We're back here once again for Apex Online Racing Oceania Season 5 here on the PS4. Here today for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Now, one crucial thing to note, I know you're probably wondering why has there been no video from Brazil? Simply because we didn't race on Australia Day, or on Australia Day weekend, I guess you could say. I think we were the only league that didn't. I think all the Xbox guys run and everybody else. So we'll be going back to Brazil next weekend for the season finale. So hopefully we can have a good race here and take some momentum into the finale. But without further ado, I think it's about time we get into qualifying and get this show on the road and see what we can do. Let's go. Alright, now here we are in the garage for qualifying. Dry qualifying and race. Not a real big surprise, obviously. I'd be very surprised if we got a weather affected race here at Yas Marina, but luckily that is not the case. And yeah, it's going to be dry qualifying in the race, so hopefully we can put on a good show. Now, championship standings, at the moment we do still lead by a very slim margin of 5 points over our championship rival Pete in the Mercedes. So it's undoubtedly going to come down to the final race of the season, but I want to try and get a leg up on my rival if I can and outscore him, just to try and maybe give myself a little bit more of a buffer going into Brazil. But we can't get too ahead of ourselves yet. We've still got to get through Abu Dhabi. And yeah, so speaking of which, our first lap put us P2, provisionally back down to P3. Went out for another lap with about 6-7 minutes to go. Unfortunately we invalidated, so we had to come back in, and we'll go out again at the end of the session on our last set of soft compound tyres. Still currently in P3, Pete currently on pole position, Swaggy P2. I want to at least get ahead of Swaggy because I have a feeling that he may try and play defense a little bit, but we lose it coming out of that left-hander, and that is not going to help our cause. And that is well, that was a really odd and stupid mistake, if anything. Quite rare too from me, to be honest. I don't normally make mistakes, particularly in traction zones like that, so that's a bit different and not really the time to be making those mistakes. But anyway, it's P4. Still not too bad. Plevs jumped us at the end of the session, unfortunately, but we still get a second row start, so hopefully we can still make something of this. Swaggy gets pole position as well. So our championship rival P2, ourselves P4. This should be interesting.
Maintain focus going into the first few corners. We don't want an incident before the race has even started.
Alright, welcome guys to the grid of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Technically the final race of the season, but since we missed Brazil, as I said, we'll be going back next weekend, so technically this is the penultimate race of the season. Feels weird to say about Abu Dhabi, but anyway, strategy-wise, not really too sure what to do, to be brutally honest with you guys. I was really umming and ahhing about one stop, two stop, going on the mediums or hards. I wasn't really sure what to do, and I wasn't really sure what to do while we were away racing, to be honest. So I think, if my memory's correct, I do decide to go on the hards. I didn't want to risk going on the mediums and getting a puncture with, I don't know, say maybe a lap and a half to go or something, and having to make a pit stop and potentially throwing away, I don't know, a win, a podium, or just a relatively solid position. But hopefully that will not happen and we can fight our rival, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we can outscore him and just gain a few points back heading into Brazil. And yeah, hopefully it can be a good race. Contrast and Spilly right behind us on the third row of the grid. We're going to have to watch out for that because they're in a tight battle for P3 in the drivers as well. So we're going to have to watch out here, but this should be a good race.
Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid has formed. Be ready with the clutch.
Alright, back on the grid here, getting ready for the start of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Waiting for the last couple of people to ready up, and here we go. Awaiting 5 red lights for the penultimate race here of Season 5, and away we go. Looks like a pretty average start compared to the front runners, to be honest. We're going to try and make a move on Plebs into turn 1 if we can. It's crucial that we get this job done, and I think we do, yes. Up into P3 now, so we've disposed of the Renault. Very crucial to get that move done, as we can't allow either of these top two really to get away. Plebs, I think he thought about a move up our inside, but it didn't want to risk it. Probably smart as well there. No need to be risking crazy dives or anything stupid, particularly on lap 1. It's probably just going to wipe yourself, and if luck doesn't go your way, probably going to wipe somebody else out as well, and that's just not going to make you look good. But good start at the moment. Cutting onto the second back straight now. Still sitting behind our championship rival Pete at the moment. Now that's a warning for exceeding track limits. Pretty bogus one, if I'm brutally honest. That was my honest opinion at the time. I didn't really see how that was fair, but anyway, we'll live with it and move on. Cutting on to lap 2. Pete locked up a little bit there into the chicane there, and now coming along the second back straight. No DRS obviously, as it is still only lap 2. We dart out of his slipstream to the right inside. Are we going to try and make a move around the outside? No, I'll decide against it. It's only lap 2. I don't want to be putting my car at risk and potentially doing something that won't pay off. And yeah, I don't want to risk damaging my car or anything. But as you can see, he's running really wide at the moment, and it looks like he's really struggling. Swakey is actually almost out of DRS by the looks of it, so this should be quite interesting. But cutting on to lap 4, now we are right under the rear wing of the Mercedes. DRS overtake, rich fuel mixture, but he does have DRS off Swaggy, only just, but he still does, and that just keeps him ahead of us for the moment. So Swaggy still keeps the lead here at Abu Dhabi. Pete still P2, ourselves P3, Plebs P4. I think it's still Contrast in P5, so the top 5 basically remain as they are. So at the moment, it's settling into a rhythm type of thing at the moment. Nobody's really trying to force any moves, which kind of makes sense if you think about it. I can't see people wanting to do that at this early stage. But cutting on to lap 5, I think I'm going to be the first one to try and do exactly that. We're going to try to go round the outside here at the end of the second back straight on lap 5. He tries to squeeze us right up against the white line. I'm having none of it. Clean around the outside. Bit of wheel-to-wheel contact made, but no harm done. Up into P2. Very nice move there on the Mercedes. Cutting on to lap 7 in the slipstream of Swaggy now, trying to take the lead away from the Alpha. Hard on the brakes at the end of the first back straight. He brakes really late. Keeps the lead for the moment, but we get another bite of DRS right here, and we should be able to get this done now. Hot lap now to overtake. Rich fuel mixture, DRS enabled, up into the lead, but we're going to have to try to go the long way around, just like we did to Pete. Really late on the brakes, so is the Alfa Romeo. Bangs wheels, tries to dim, he squeezes off the track there, and as you can see on the mini-map, he's actually off the road. I think he may have been in a half spin there, so a bit unfortunate for him there, but in saying that, I felt like I did nothing wrong there. You know, I didn't try to spin him out, never my intention to do so, but anyway, he continues on. Cutting off to lap 9, Pete comes into the pits at the end of lap 8, presumably going on to hard tyres, trying to get an undercut on ourselves. So that releases Swaggy back into P2, J-Banks in P3, so he's going to come out of nowhere at the moment. So both Mercedes could be on for a pretty solid result. So we're going to have to watch out for these guys behind. We're just out of DRS range of Swaggy crucially at the moment, so we should be safe from any kind of attack from the Alpha at the moment. Coming on to the end of lap 9, and it's J-Banks and Toddster currently in P2 and P3 at the moment, so I'd say Swaggy has either had a moment or has just kind of been muscled out of the way a little bit by the Renault and the Mercedes. I wouldn't be surprised if the latter option was what happened, if I'm brutally honest. But into the pits we come now at the start of lap 10, coming in for a set of hard tyres, basically just responding to what Pete did. You can see in the mini-map, here comes a train of cars. I think that's Spilly, there goes Contrast, there goes their teammate Stuart McKenzie and Pete Crichton. Harry Tomato with the fastest lap of the race in the fellow Alfa Romeo, so pretty decent from him there. Re-emerging on the track, just wanting to make sure I clear the Red Bull, and we do. No, we're inside actually, so we're safe at the moment. We can settle into a bit of a rhythm J-Banks, though, if you look up the top left of your screen, he's gone on the medium tyres. Now, this is a bit interesting to take into consideration here. I did not think that that strategy would work. I personally would have thought you needed to at least stop at the end of lap 10 at the earliest to make the mediums last. But J-Banks obviously thinks that he can take the mediums about 18, 19 laps. And on lap 11, here he goes, round there outside, just completely blows past us like we're sitting still. If I'm brutally honest, I didn't really want to put up much of a fight there. I knew he was on a faster tyre, and if I tried to fight him, it was just going to slow both of us up. And I don't need something like that to be happening. I need to try and play things a bit smart here. Getting on to lap 12, but that's a 3-second time penalty, so that is not going to help our cause. Crucially though, Pete also has a 3-second time penalty at the moment. Coming on to lap 13, we have Stuart McKenzie and J-Banks going at it, and ourselves and Pete have a bird's eye view of this battle. Pretty ironic that it is, I can't get the words out, that it is a Williams and a Mercedes going at it, but it's not ourselves and Pete going at it. DRS has failed as well, so that's just great. Williams car is falling apart on us at the moment, so this is not good. J-Banks gets the move done on Stuart McKenzie up into P5, Stuart down to P6, Pete P7, and ourselves still in P8. So this is getting very, very tense and close at the moment. Now, one crucial thing to note is I think J-Banks is actually going to the end. So effectively, from what I'm aware of, he's actually now the genuine leader of the race. Coming on to lap 14, ourselves and Pete Crichton coming up on the back of the gaming wafer in the Red Bull. Gets a pretty bad run out of there, and Pete is now going to look to try around the outside here in the penultimate corner. Pretty stupid, to be honest. I would have thought he'd try go to the inside, and Waffles has we've just escorted him off the road there in the final corner. We've got to run on both of them, and we're going to try and get the move done down into turn 1, really outside of Waffles and our championship rival Pete Crichton. And just like that, we've got to handle a Mercedes. But cutting onto lap 16 onto the second back straight, he's going to try and fight back around our outside, but we've actually made a bit of a mistake there. We downshifted into first gear unintentionally. Now we've made contact and we've been sent into a half spin. Not what we needed there. I'm not going to lie, at the time I was not very impressed. I felt like Zach kind of run me off the road a little bit, but after watching the footage back, that was just a racing incident. There's no reason to blame him for that because he did nothing wrong. But coming onto the back straight on lap 18 now, out of the hairpin. Now things are getting a bit tasty. Pete Crichton trying to overhaul our teammate Stuart McKenzie, and we're going 3 wide down the back straight now. 2 Williams and a Mercedes. Pete gets ahead. Is Stuart going to try for the dive? I think he thought about it, but not quite. And he's, I think that's damage for our teammate Stuart McKenzie there. And he looks like he's lost it. He's in the wall, and he has completely lost his front wing.
Caution, caution. The virtual safety car is out. Reduce speed and maintain a positive delta.
Alright, so we have a virtual safety car with 10 laps to go here at Abu Dhabi. Now, I can say at the time Stuart felt like Pete brake checked him. I'm not 100% sure about that, to be honest. I'm not going to try and call it or comment on it, as I'm not involved in it, so I'm going to leave that up to those two if they want to talk about it, and they can sort it out themselves. But we're about to go back racing, I think. Now, crucially to note, Pete has really backed us up under the virtual safety car here.
Virtual safety car is ending. Maintain your pace until the green flag. VSC ending. Wait for green.
Alright, so here we go. Green flag flies again. Away we go.
Green
now,
flag.
at this point in time, I've got to be brutally honest, I was very, very annoyed at Pete for what he has done, because he's effectively cost both of us about 3 seconds of race time and has completely backed me up into about 2-3 other cars, which you are not allowed to do. It's black and white in the rules. So we'll see what the stewards say about that. But anyway, on to lap 19, side by side in the chicane at the end of the first back straight. We get the move done. This has allowed Todster now to join in this fight, and he might potentially get past both of us here. Pete, I think he made a bit of contact with our rear end there. Hard on the brakes. We've gone very deep there, a bit too deep actually, nearly run off the road. Pete and Todster still going side by side behind us, but I think Pete has got back in front of the Renault, and yes he has. And as you can see, look up at the top left of your screen, Jay Banks in the other Mercedes, he's completely bolted. He's got about a 12-second lead at the moment, so he is absolutely gone. So I'd definitely say that he's probably going to win this race. Coming on to lap 22 though, Pete. Interesting tactics out of the chicane there, but you know, totally legal. Can't say that anyone will probably do any different. Just trying to make sure we couldn't get the over and under on him. I thought about it, I tried to get the power down, but just got a bit tail happy, and unfortunately we couldn't do it. So I decided, right now, okay, let's save a little bit of ERS and we'll try and get back past here on the back straight on the next lap, and coming on to the back straight on lap 23. That is exactly what we've done, back up into P2. But there's a slight problem. Because we're getting the move done on the first back straight, now he's got DRS and he's able to fight back here on the second back straight. So here he goes round the outside. We're going to go really late on the brakes to try and defend this position. Bunny up the curb a little bit there, bit of wheel-to-wheel contact made. Completely my fault there as I just bunny up the curb and ran into him. So my fault there for that little bit of contact. Cutting on to lap 24 once again round the outside of the Mercedes, and this is probably not the smartest thing for me to be doing, to be brutally honest, because as I said a few moments ago, he's just getting DRS on us here on this second back straight, and he's just getting straight back past us. So here he goes again to the outside. We're going to have to brake really late this time. We brake way too late, as a matter of fact. Nearly shoved him off. Not my intention, obviously. And as you can see, we're getting the move done. I did feel a bit guilty about that, so I'm actually going to let him go here. And as you can see, okay, he obviously was none too impressed at that either, as he makes a bit of contact with us. He goes very deep into the right-hander though. I didn't decide to try go around his outside there. You just can't run side by side through here. And yeah, it would have ended badly for one of us, so I thought, no, let's just slot him behind him. Todd's right behind us as well. I think he ran a bit wide in the penultimate corner there. You could see the white arrow indicator just fly off the racetrack, so I think he might have ran a bit wide there. But anyway, coming on to the back straight once again on the lap 25 now. Rich fuel mixture, high ERS deployment. Now, at this point I'm actually thinking, okay, you know what, if he wants to play games then so am I. We're both kind of deliberately going slow here as neither of us wants to give the other DRS. But now we are the ones with DRS on the second back straight, so we're going to try and make this work. Pete, undoubtedly, probably none too impressed, and I know he wasn't after the race in the chat, but if he can play games, then guess what, so can we. And we make it work up into P2 at the end of the second back straight, around the outside, very nice move. So that is up into P2. As you can see, well, as you can't see, Jay Banks in the Mercedes has absolutely disappeared, nowhere to be seen at the moment. I don't know where he found that type of pace from, since I don't even think he qualified in the top 6 or 7 to be honest. But that Mercedes has just absolutely bolted. You can see him on the minimap there. Look how far ahead he is. He's got 13 seconds basically on all of us back here battling for P2. So I'd say he is comfortably on his way to a win here in at Abu Dhabi. But as you can see, we've got Aaron right behind us as well. He's overhauled Pete for P3, and he goes for a dive up our inside. Okay, and he's spun out there. Now, before I go pointing any fingers or anything, I'm not going to, because he did actually apologise post-race for that incident. You just said he got caught off guard with me on my worn hard tyres, which I did completely understand. I mean, he was on fresh mediums, I was on worn hards. There's a considerable difference, and it is difficult to gauge sometimes the closing speed, and unfortunately he just misjudged it, made a little mistake, and we made contact, and yeah, he got sent into a half spin, so a bit unfortunate for him there. But anyway, coming on to the final lap of the race, we've been able to keep the 1.5 second gap over Pete, who has been able to stay in P3, but Jay Banks is going to come around the final corner now and take a convincing win in AOR, the first in this league I think for him, so congrats to him, thoroughly deserved. But as we come around the final corner, we've done exactly what we needed to do across the line for P2, which means we now lead the championship by 8 points heading into the season finale. Alright, so there we have it, guys. That has been today's video. Apex Online Racing here for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Hope you guys have enjoyed. There is a stewards inquiry waiting to be settled on between ourselves and Pete regarding that, backing us up under VSC. It is clear, it is black and white in the rules that it can't be done, so we'll see what the stewards say about that. But thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed, remember to leave a like, subscribe, stay tuned for plenty more. And until next video, I'll see you all next time.